Good evening, ASW, and welcome to the last town hall of the year. We're going to try to bring things together in our last time together here on the first day of June. We only have about 15 days left of the school year and lots of things still going on. But boy, are we a good kind of tired after a wonderful graduation weekend where we were able to do a proper send off to our high school graduates. First time in 2 years back at the Poland Museum, and a wonderful event for us all. So we'll just relish that and use that as our energy to get us through the remainder of the year with all of the events that are coming up in the days ahead. A little reminder about Town Hall. You've got a comment screen, so very happy to have you drop your comments in there, which I can post on the screen, and we can answer them in the course of our gathering tonight. We have a few things to update you on and a few things of closure to bring together, so we're excited about that. On both the YouTube and the Facebook platform, you can type your comments in and I'll be able to see them. On the StreamYard on Facebook, if you want us to see your name, there's something to click on to give us permission to see that name in the StreamYard live stream. So you need to click on that link and go over there real quick and come back. And then we'll be able to see your name on the live stream when you post your comment. It's also just fine to do it anonymously as well. And unfortunately, from YouTube, all of the responses come as anonymous posts, but you can post there as well. Again, we're live streaming on two platforms, both our Facebook platform and our YouTube platform, links provided last Monday. It's good to see a few people coming into the room, and others are adding to us as we go. So I think we're ready to kick off, and we're going to start with a couple of students that are with us here tonight. I see them in the green room ready to come in and talk about a special project coming up in these final days of the school year. So please welcome Hannah and Caitlin. Ladies, how are you?
Hello, we're good. How are you?
Welcome to Town Hall, and it's time to talk about your big event coming up. So give us an orientation and tell us all about it and what everybody can do.
Okay. Hello, parents and fellow community members, along with Mr. Z. Tonight, we have taken the opportunity to speak to you about this year's Relay for Life event, which will be taking place on June 11th, next Saturday from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. Hopefully, around the school and through various emails, you know a little bit about this event and our goal altogether. With that being said, we want to give you a little information about this event and why we chose to co-lead it.
The mission of this event is to raise as much money through donations and through selling different items to the hospital Centrum Zdrowia Dziecka, which is here in Warsaw, and more specifically, the oncology section. There are many people in need of our help, and our goal is to help as many people as we can. Last year, Kate and Nina raised about 15,000 zloty from just the event, and which is an incredible amount. And this year they actually raised 4,000 zloty from the hoodies. We hope to follow in their footsteps, but we do need your help.
A little bit about why we chose to be co-leaders. We decided to take this opportunity, despite the challenges, to create an event loved by so many that also serves a greater purpose, because we know how important it is to our community and to us as well. Both of us wanted to take this opportunity to get involved with a project that makes us closer to our community, allows us to help those who are less fortunate, and create an event where people can have fun and also remember those who they have lost and or pay forth to those who need our help.
At the event, we will have various activities. Like last year, we will be having a celebratory walk in the beginning of the event, as well as to close it with our lit torches. We'll still be having various sporting events like volleyball matches, spike ball face-offs, and an addition of kickball, which was a fan favorite. There will be food and drinks sold throughout the day into the night. This year, however, we are adding a large bake sale along with the lemonade, grilled cheese, and popcorn sale. Furthermore, Min, who is part of the design class in 10th grade, decided to build us a water slide and has been working hard on making sure that participants have a choice and a chance to cool off from the hot sun. We're having also a coffee house where already a lot of people have signed up and great acts are gonna be there. Lastly, there will be a bonfire from about 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. where people can enjoy donated s'more items, as well as watch a movie that was chosen by the groups.
As mentioned previously, we will be selling food. However, that is not all. At this event, we will be selling 2 different t-shirts, around 50 zloty each, water bottles around 20 zloty each, and hats around 25 zloty each, where all the money that we raise will also be donated to our chosen hospital and specifically the oncology section. They all have handcrafted logos from years past on them to celebrate why we are doing this event in the first place and what cause we are supporting. We just wanted to let everyone know that signups are open now until the event. You can find our signups in all e-notes and posters hung up in the elementary, middle, and high school sections of the school. Also, you can just walk into the event as long as you pay an entrance fee of 75 zloty.
If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email us or contact us in any way. Our emails should be attached to the posters that are around the school or have been attached to the e-notes, as Caitlin said.
From both Hannah and I, thank you so much for your time, and we hope to see you at the event.
Yeah.
So, gals, just to remind everybody, this is an annual event that we've run for a number of years. And particularly, I think one of the most important, poignant elements of it is the memorial to those that we all want to remember as part of this Relay for Life. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that aspect of the event as we're walking around the track and how we're going to bring those memories alive in the context of this overall event?
That's a good question. What Kate and Nina did in the previous year that we are also going to do is we fill up brown paper bags with sand and we light a little candle in it. And each person is able to write a note about someone they lost, whether it's due to cancer or any other related diseases, or if they just want to keep someone's memory alive. It's really an awesome tradition, and we're so happy that we get to keep it alive and we get to do it again this year. We will have an opportunity for people to write any notes that they want. And we also have bags left over from last year that we're going to place around the track, so it's even more lit up. And yeah, it's really special, especially in the closing lap, which is a last kind of final walk before the moment of silence, which is,
somewhere in there. But I think, the ambiance and I also wear my t-shirt that's in memory of my father who passed away to cancer in 1995. And we used to do annual events, similar nature. We were more golf oriented, where we were raising money for cancer research. So this has been an ongoing thing for a lot of us. And I think I've worn similar kinds of t-shirts in multiple schools now over the last 20, 30 years in multiple regions around the world where this kind of effort has been underway. Again, marvelous opportunity for connection and community building within the context of these amazing memories that we all want to keep in our hearts and minds. And again, lots of fun too. It sounds like you're adding a lot of additional fun elements to here. I'm still wondering a little bit about the water slide, but I'm going to wait and see how that all turns out.
We're wondering as well. We'll see at the event how that's going to play out. But
we also want to hasten to mention that it's a controlled bonfire, right? And
Yes.
I'm always thinking the safety side, right?
Everything's taken care of in that aspect. So
we've got a wonderful team of people, and I know they've done these things in the past, and so bringing it all together for this event is really good. Do you have a sense of kind of student participation and what you're seeing amongst your peers in terms of turnout for it?
For sure. We've already had a couple people that were asking us whether they can help in any shape or form. We are actually partnering with Bali and Molly, who are from the Athletics Council, and they are going to be helping us sell the lemonade and grilled cheese, as well as obviously Chayman is doing the water slide. And other people have asked to supervise the different activities we have.
And now you'll be able to share this video link with all your friends tomorrow so they can go to a one-stop shop and find out about all the details as you guys have capably shared it with us tonight. So brilliant. All right. Well, any final words on the event? Just sign up, right? There's a link. You click
Yeah, sign up, please.
We would love more parents.
Yes.
Anyone, middle school, elementary, high school, anyone who would love to participate. We are
The
more than
most
happy.
amazing thing would be to see 6 lanes of that track full of people walking around.
I agree.
Exactly.
100%. Yes.
Brilliant. Well, ladies, thank you so much for organizing this and for bringing it back together. And so good to be doing it in a year where conditions, epidemic-wise, have allowed us to come back together like this. So like graduation, it'll be our first time where everybody can freely attend and help us to raise funds for a very important cause.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, ladies. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.
Have a great night.
So that's our Relay for Life in full action June 11th, Saturday. But before we get to Relay for Life, we have something more imminent coming up in the coming days. So for that, I'm going to bring Mr. Mike Teske out there. I'm watching his little screen before I bring him in to see that he's ready. So here we go. Mr. Teske, good to have you back tonight on the town hall. I know that the gala is a frenetic pace to the day now, and everything is going smoothly. Why don't you bring us up to speed and tell us what's on tap and what we're hoping for come Saturday night?
Sure. Well, obviously, we're hoping for good weather. That's one thing, right?
Cross your fingers right now, okay?
Good weather. And we are currently still getting reservations in, which is really, really wonderful. We're going to have the gym annex, the annex gym is going to be full, and it's going to be beautifully decorated. The decorations have already started. Hi, Lagita.
I brought Lagita in to join us because I know she's working with you, so feel free to tip to her when you're ready.
Yeah. So we have been working hard to get all the elements ready. The performances, the student performances, as you stroll around, are going to be terrific. The student artwork is on display, and it is spectacular. And it's going to be a great evening all around. Like I said, right now we are topping 150, 160, may even go to 170 right now, based on the reservations that are coming in, which is just fantastic.
Well, that's brilliant. That's wonderful numbers, and it continues to grow. We should talk about that. It's like we're really tight in terms of locking down, but we're still able, even though originally we were looking at Monday, we're still able, if you call us quick tomorrow, we can still fit you in, right? I mean, we can still throw a few extra tables out there if we need to.
Just mention Mr. Z's name, and that'll.
Mr. Z said so. That's what you say on the phone or in the email.
Exactly right.
He said
That's
so.
right. Lagita, you want to talk a little bit about stuff on your end of things, the service, and what the students showcase is going to look like?
Good evening. Yes, we will have. I can tell you that students are super excited. I know that they're rehearsing. They're doing little jobs for the gala. So you have upper school students, you have 11th graders, and you have all sorts of this students in 6th grade today working, and they all know they're doing it for the gala. They're all doing it for the Ukrainian efforts. So they excited. I know they want to perform. They want to entertain you, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy the show. Just come and support, because they're looking forward to have you as their audience.
You're going to also highlight some of the service projects, right?
Yes, we will. We have some slideshows. We have some interesting, and I'm not going to tell you what, because please come and you will see yourself. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interactive, and it's going to be a lot of fun, not to mention all the entertainment that's out there for you guys to come to the gala.
And Lagita, while we've got you here, do you want to give us a quick update on ASW4 Ukraine and our efforts right now? How are things going? Are we still stably delivering things? What's the effort ongoing at Lipova, and how are we doing right now?
So I think the efforts are expanding, and now we're having more and more people coming to Lipova. Yesterday, I believe we had 15 people at the same time. So people heard about it. People who come to get food. People get to come get clothing. We have a lot of children coming. They love to play in Lipova. And today we had a couple deliveries and a couple collections. So it's as busy as you can imagine. And we have food and all these the most needed items to provide. So it's busy. If you go there, it's busy. It's a good atmosphere, and people just come and they get what they need. They chat. There's socializing happening, and we have Ukrainian people working there in sense volunteering there. So it's fun. It's really good. And we have Chef May, who she's still making these meals. And today we had guests coming from the Venezia orphanage to school after school, and May prepared the delicious cupcakes.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes, so it is fun, it's busy, and it's just growing and growing. So this is wonderful to see. So thank you everybody who working hard in Lipova, in school, and supporting our students and also people in Ukraine.
That's absolutely marvelous. And again, to remind everybody, the reason why we're talking about these two things together is that we've committed the proceeds from the gala this year in its first iteration to the Ukraine project. So we're really making a concerted effort to make sure that all of these resources are going to support this. We've also refreshed our push out to the broader community, to our Rally Up campaign. It continues on, and as we've explained on the website, we're pushing through December in terms of our planning, and our donations have started upticking. We're about 30% of what we need to keep working through December, but that's a huge upswing from where we were just 2 weeks ago when we were still at about 23%. And that's a huge, I think, positive movement in the right direction. And these are from places all over the world. And if anybody is coming to this video, I want to just shout out to all of my colleagues and friends around the world, heads of school in Kathmandu and in Chadwick School, to all of you. Thank you so much for your donations and for your continued fundraising work. And I just want to make a note that Eloise, who everybody knows from a prior experience, put another donation in of buttons that she's selling in New Hampshire of $1,000 of button sales at her school and at the Italian restaurant. And for those of you who want to know more about that, go back to our website, because I think the video is still there that you can take a look at my interview with Eloise and her efforts on the East Coast in fundraising for us. And just amazing what the response has been. We should also mention quickly, Ligita, that we had a wonderful Saturday with the refugees together with our kids, really having some amazing fun with the refugee kids, working with the adults and helping them to build plans towards the future. And it just really was a renewing event, both for our kids who were leading the activities, as well as for the participants who I think yielded tremendous benefit from that.
Yes, absolutely. And students already asking, when can we do this again? So I hear this, when can we do this again, from both sides. The first time when we hosted children from the orphanage, they were asking, when can we do this again? When can we do this again? And then when we talk to our students, it's the same question, when can we do this again? So it's great learning experience. Students learn a lot. It's about organizational, what you need to do to make things happen, and how to make sure you meet the needs, all the little details to take care of. So it's a huge learning experience for our students, and it's a wonderful opportunity to bond, learn about each other, and just to work together.
And we intend next year to really kind of continue to expand on that theme as we come into the fall. Of course, a lot of it depending upon the environment and what's going on, but we do know that there's a bit of back and forth across the border, but there's still no movement on improving the situation in the outlying areas in Ukraine. And we know that some of the cities are getting back into some degree of normalcy, except for the occasional missile attack that's coming over the horizon. But we're primarily serving these outlying areas that still have no infrastructure, often cases no food. Refugees that are going back across the border are finding things pretty much in ruins in many of the places that they're going to, and oftentimes are ending up right back here in Poland again, because there's nothing there for them, and there's nothing to survive. So I just want to reinforce with the community that despite some of the news reports that are showing cities that seem to be generally normal, that there's a very different story just a short distance outside those metropolis centers, and particularly this way towards the west as well as towards the east, where all of our food donations are going to, that's still very dreadful circumstances for those families out there. And of course, many of our refugees that we're connected with here, have family members back there that are living in those conditions as well, and tell us stories all the time about the challenges that their family members are facing in Ukraine. So this is an ongoing effort, and we don't see this stopping until well into the fall, and we're all hopeful that there will be something that will happen that will allow Ukraine to start returning to normal, but it's very much a long, difficult process, I think, on the horizon. Well, let me bring our board chair, Kayla Bonka, in to join us briefly so that we have all four of us on the screen. Good evening, Kay.
Good evening, everyone.
And Kay, I'm going to talk a little bit about board tie-up for the end of the year, but I just want to add one more piece into the gala, which I wrote about in eNotes tonight, and that is that anybody who's coming to the gala will be the only ones to have a first look at the master facility plan renderings of what we're hoping to do at ASW in the next 3 to 5 years. And this is a big piece of board work that has been 18 months in the preparation with staff, parents, board members, and architects and facility project managers working together. And the renderings are ready, and they're going to be out and on display at the gala for only gala participants.
We need a drum roll, John. Should have done a drum roll here.
If you want to see what we've got on the horizon for ASW as we're coming out of COVID, we haven't stopped working on planning for the future. And so if you want to come and see that, then do that phone call tomorrow and say, Mr. Z said so, and get your gala tickets now, because that's the only place you'll see it until we come back in August. So if anybody wants to see that, you got to come to the gala, because that's where it'll be. All right.
We like teasers. That's good.
We love teasers, don't we? Mike, Lagita, anything else on gala that we can say, or is that bring it to a good close?
Looking forward to having you there and have a good time. And please come support Ukraine and support our students.
Looking forward to starting a new tradition.
Absolutely.
Love
And we're all looking forward to see all the wonderful dress and our very formal, wonderful events. Know how ASW community can clean up and put on the Ritz, right?
Always.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for everything that you're doing to bring this to fruition. Everybody knows Mike Teskey is our new Director of Development. He continues with us next year. Lagita is our Director of Service Learning, a partnership made in heaven. This will really take us to the next level after we get through this first one and learn from it, but we're excited about the weekend ahead. Thank you so much for all that you're doing.
Thank you, guys. Amazing.
Kay, and that brings us to
Hey, John. This is exciting.
what do we want to say about year end? Because like you and I are going to take this out and finish
Taking it out. I feel like a song or dance. I won't do that.
Well, we were both sitting side by side at graduation. So let's start there, because we had the ambassador there. We brought an amazing closure.
Yeah.
The kids throwing their hats in the air brought tears to, I think, every eye in the house. That in itself is kind of a poignant bookmark in taking us into the end of the year.
And how wonderful to have it back at the Poem Museum, which has been such a long, tradition, right, for the school. And I felt honored to be there front and center. And also the students were amazing. I've seen a lot of graduations at different schools I've worked at over the years, and the speeches were phenomenal, the performances, the ambassador speaking, Mrs. San, even what was it, the 40th anniversary of Mr. Sheehan's high school graduation on that same day. So it's really funny how things come full circle, and and you reflect on that. But the ambassador, he rearranged his schedule. He got there, he spoke. I got to stand between you guys, shaking the graduates' hands. It truly was an amazing day. So I think the class of 2022 is going to make all of us really proud. Even from the dancing the night before, that was pretty awesome too.
Absolutely. I mean, this is it. It was a full weekend of just decked out opportunities to cry and smile and see
That's
the
true.
amazing things that we can do when we put ourselves in our best duds and trip the light fantastic. The Stanuvka was brilliant on Friday. These kids had the extra bit of practice, and it showed on the dance floor. They absolutely
it was funny. So professional. They were poised. They were prepared. Just so every move was just so thoughtfully done. Really, really a treat to see. I'd seen it through a screen last year, so what a treat to see it in person.
Exactly, and to have a full set of bleachers and really have the community out, and celebrating and also socializing really for the first legitimate time other than a couple of meetings. This was really the first time to have like a whole grade level of parents and their friends and their relatives and grandparents in some cases, sitting there in the bleachers really applauding. And these kids got a well-deserved standing ovation at the end. After
They did. It was awesome. I felt so welcomed. Like, I got another 10 years for my oldest is in 12th grade, which I don't want to come, but it's amazing, how quickly it all goes. I don't want that time to come soon, but it was really neat to hear of the journey, especially those who've been ASW for a long time. How that sense of community and that just sense of unity has only solidified that class over time. And I have a child screaming at me. It's fine.
The other thing that we've always done in graduations, which was really poignant here.
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's okay. The boys are up and about.
Wait, you guys are in here. Just wave quickly. Come on. And
Come on, wave, guys.
I will get for you in a moment.
Hi.
Okay. Bye, guys. Close the door. I know. Thank you so much. Yes, I know. You need to go. Go now. Thank you.
That's
This
okay.
is your life. They go up in my drawer to the right of my bed. Go. Close the door now. Close the door now. Thank you. Bed. This is real life, guys. I'm sorry. Kindergarten.
Right? That's what live stream is all about. It's live and right in front of you, right?
Exactly.
There's nothing you can do.
Yes.
I was just going to say, though, that's the important part of ASW is family. We recognize that family is part of everything we do. And one of the things that's a feature of our school, and I don't know many schools that do this, is for board members and for staff members, allowing them to come up and be part of handing the diploma to their child. And I know because I had that same tradition in Moscow, which meant that I could give my son's diploma to him. And of course, I had the opportunity here in Warsaw when my daughter graduated back a few years ago. And it's just such a meaningful moment to be able to share that with your child, to actually hand them that diploma, just like the administrator up there, and recognize that there's this partnership that exists between parents and the school staff in nurturing the child to this point. And I always revel in watching that relationship between parent and child come out on the stage, right? That it's always such a warm hug and such a deep sense of emotion to it, that it really brings out the best in the ceremony.
And I got so emotional, like, oh gosh, what's it be like when my child is up here, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Something like that. Exactly.
I can't.
Now let's also tie up board work. We have our final meeting coming up on June 11th. It's more of it's not a public meeting. It's a retreat, a working meeting where we're going to pull the last of our details for the year and possibly draft some goals for next year. But maybe we should share just some of the things we expect to be talking about at our final board meeting of the year. We've got committee reports, of course, and they're going to go through all of their charges that they've been working on during the year. Certainly, finance committee and a very stable budget and a good financial outlook for this facilities master plan that we're talking about and how that's going to come together. And then governance and all of the things they've done to update and develop policy and keep things together. We often talk about our monitoring and risk management and how they've been in the loop on everything COVID related as we're coming out of COVID. They've been, consultants and partners in that work.
Sure.
And then advancement, which is really at the core of the gala and culture of giving, and have been a backbone for Mike and his team in helping to support and encourage and otherwise turn out for the gala and showing the board's support for this as a traditional activity at ASW. But what are the highlights you bring, Kay, in terms of your reflection on the year?
Yeah,
This is first as chair and first as member.
Yeah. I think I look back, John, on everything we've accomplished this year, and I talk, of course, the board, speaking to the full community as well. And I think, we introduced this concept of service above self at our last August retreat with our consultant we were working with, and I've just been blown away. And I'm an educator by nature, and a mom always, and I think about our Strengths Finders results and all of the different talents and skills each board member has brought to the table. And I think all of that has formed this really beautiful, these puzzle pieces have come together to really form this overall team, right? That has done so much and grown so much. And it's been really telling, I think, evaluating each of our meetings at the end and having trustees share out what are they taking away from the meeting? How did we do? How did we help one another and use our strengths? And it was really exciting last month to witness and hear about that growth tangibly from those around the table, those participating virtually. And, I think in any team you have, we had a lot of new members this year. So there were some growing pains, learning, that happened. And it makes me really, really excited for our work moving forward. And we're really only transitioning 2 people out this year three into 3 new positions. And those people we've been onboarding. So as a team, we're ready for any challenge. It's really, really important with all the crucial work we've been doing from, thinking about the master facility plan and making that design process a reality in collaboration with the school. Of course, all the committee work, the Ukrainian relief efforts, of course, our collaboration with PSI and how they, will be collaborating physically with us on campus next year. And I had the opportunity to meet Rachel, the director, yesterday, phenomenal person. And of course, other initiatives that are coming along the way, I have full confidence that we will continue to further the vision and mission of the school and all that we're doing. And that's why we are here, right? To make sure we uphold those policies and procedures and bylaws to help ASW be the best it can be now and for generations to come. And that's, I think, of advancement work. I think about the future and, what legacy are we leaving behind and what kind of learning place are we leaving for not only our children's generation, but our children's generation. Yeah. It's really exciting to think like that. And I have full confidence that we'll continue to do fantastic work together and bring out the best in one another. So.
Yeah. You talk about it from the standpoint of really these things that have hit us. And the amazing part is how the board in very short order can step into something and say, yeah, that makes sense. And then just be behind it. And PSI is a good example of this is just the right thing to do. I mean, we are in essence agreeing with another board that this is a way we can save a school, essentially.
Phenomenal opportunity. Yep.
And, that I think is key to understanding the context in which we do the decision making, the strategic nature of it, and the ability to be nimble and flexible. I've got a comment here, regarding the budget and plans for next year. Please confirm you're actually going to spend some on our students. Well, we are always spending everything on our students. So just to make that very clear. The trips, outings we haven't been able to do because of COVID. It had nothing to do with budget. The budget's always been there and still is there. And in fact, we've got a field trip that's in process that's going to take advantage of this loosening situation in the final weeks of the school year. I think I just signed off on a important field trip visit for an upper school class. So, again, the money's always been there. It was never taken away. It was never redirected because of COVID. It was simply held because we couldn't logistically do it. And the refugee problems are not related as well. We've done that all with donations. There's been no school funds that have gone to that. And the board's been very clear about that. And we've met that requirement, and as we would for prudent financial spending. The current students' budget is there. It's always been there and it always will be there. And now with COVID allowing us, I think you'll see most all of our things, including, by the way, unless conditions change, our grade level trips will be coming back in the fall. They're on the calendar, and we've done our calendar sessions for the year, so you'll see those back. Plus, as I've announced previously, CISA has opened up for athletic and activity travel starting right away in the fall of next year. Again, if current conditions prevail and we continue on this path, and we don't get into additional lockdowns or additional controls, we believe that we'll be back on a path to near normal. The issue is really just waiting on schools to confirm that they're hosting and that they are ready to take us for the different robust schedule of events that emerges during the year. But our calendar is prepped with everything that you would have seen in 1819 and maybe even a bit more. And so I have every reason to believe we'll see 80% of that come to fruition when we get to the final analysis. It'll be a bit of a scheduling mess the first year back. I have every expectation of that. We'll have to dust off our memories like we did for graduation to make sure that we understand what it is that we're actually attempting here. And obviously things like homestays are still quite a ways off in terms of lodging students who are traveling. So much of the travel that we will do will be hotel based, which requires some additional logistics to support as well. So Agata, I went a little bit longer on that just to make sure you had that answer. But I just want to be clear, our budget never changed. We saved because we didn't do those things, but we didn't change the budget. The budget remains so that year on year, we make sure there's a placeholder for those activities so that when COVID relaxed, we could come back to it. And the board approved that budget in March, knowing full well that both professional development for staff as well as activities for kids would come back to pre-COVID levels. But please keep posting your questions there. This is really wonderful to continue to have the dialogue and make sure that we push that out. The master facilities plan will have lots to it when we come back together in August. Again, I'm not going to preempt this and leave this to the gala for the weekend to share some of those pages on large poster boards that we'll hide away for the summer. But we're really excited about sharing that work and sharing our plans going forward. And that work is viable due to the prudent financial planning of the school to have the necessary capital reserves and emergency reserves that were financially feasible for going out for the necessary loans to take a 20-year-old building and do what would be a normally scheduled renovation to bring it up to speed and prepare it for the next 20 years. So I think everyone will be excited to see the plans. It won't be done without some degree of pain, and we'll plant that seed now that there always is with renovations challenges that we'll face as we're doing the process. But I bring a long background of building schools in multiple countries, and so rest assured there's a lot of discussion and dialogue to make sure that that goes well. And Agata, one more question here on reentry testing. I don't know. And anything COVID related, I'm not going to make any declarations about tonight because we really need to wait until, as we did every year, until later in July or early August when I send welcome messages out to you. I will describe what we believe the current situation to be and what it may or may not require from us in terms of opening protocols and procedures. We keep all of our protocols in place so they're ready to be utilized if and when we need them. And you're all reading the same news and projections that I'm reading that would suggest we're not quite done with COVID yet, and we have to be prepared just in case there is a resurgence or a mutation or some other issue related to that. And we kind of need to be prepared for lots of things, health and well-being related on the horizon that we now need to always be prepared for. So health management, we've learned a lot through this process about what we need to do to be healthy and safe together in a community environment like this. But again, Kay and the board fully aware of these parameters and what we need to be prepared for, and the school financially in a fiscal state that we can take care of any issue that comes across the horizon. Am I right, Kay?
very, very financially sound. And God, I saw your emoji, the fingers crossed. I think we're all doing that for, that we can continue to embrace a new normal, right? And have activities and travel and events and all of that. It's just exciting seeing it happen now. It's exciting seeing the energy behind that, and gratitude for all of the mitigation that has led to this this great exit strategy or current strategy, and let's hope that momentum can continue, right, John?
Absolutely. The Wednesday start and end time should be in e-notes, but please check there. I know that we are ending at 11:30. We've planned our end of year assembly for starting shortly after 10 a.m. All of the divisional offices should be communicating that to you, so you have all the details for that last day. But please check e-notes for that, and watch for additional communication as appropriate to that final day of school. It's always normally been a half day ending at 11:30. I know it does come on Wednesday this year. I believe we've decided
No late start. That's
no late start is the main thing in e-notes. So that means we come at normal time on Wednesday and finish our last day together as a normal full half day. We need that because teachers have farewell things that they want to be able to do with kids. We have a ceremony in the morning. There it is. Somebody posted it for me, 8:30 to 11:30, as I suggested. And so we really do want you to join us and make sure that we have a good final half day with kids. There it is again, no late start. So everybody's out there helping us out and making sure we're on the right track.
Love it.
Yeah. We do have an odd ending week this year with the national holiday the day after the Polish holiday. And then, of course, staff come back on Friday for some time working together to bring final closure to the year. And then we all head off to the summer vacation. School will still maintain some skeleton staffing and the main entrance and during the summer. So feel free to access that. I should hasten on the COVID front to remind you that EpicSpurt is still here 8 to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday for your testing needs, re-entry testing for anybody who's been out ill for a period of time, as would normally be the case. Test to stay programs whenever there's a positive case in a household. Other household members will do test to stay, and also precautionary testing. If you're concerned about whether you've been exposed and you have a case, they can advise you at 8 to 10 in the morning what type of testing you should consider for your needs, as well as travel testing. Although we don't have a good feel for how much demand there may be for travel testing because of the holiday and the way it's fleshing out. So it's likely that next week we'll do a bit of a survey to try to tie that up and figure out if anybody has any individual needs. Yeah. Kay, anything else from the board's point of view? Just a wonderful close to the year, and just
we have, John, such an incredible community. I keep saying that for months, and it's my end of my second year here, and I will say, like, we are just continue to rise to the occasion. We continue to be resilient and find positive pathways around any challenges that we face, and we continue to come together and for the good of not only one another, the greater community, the creating community. It's just our global community. It's truly amazing. So I feel very privileged to serve and privileged to be here, and thank everyone for your role in that.
Yeah. Should hasten to add that we have robust enrollment for the fall, with many grade levels filling up and with waiting lists in place. And all of that, along with everything else we've been talking about, just puts so much potential on the horizon for the school going into the 22-23 year. It's really a pivotal year. It's not just about recovery and coming out of what we've experienced for the last 2 years, but it's really about setting the launch pad for the future. And I think you'll hear that mantra regularly when we come back in August. So watch for our communications in late summer, and we'll give everyone lots of information that will keep you going. And while I have you, and then as a final message, please fill out your parent survey. Everything went out today. You have your link in your mailbox. Please click on it and take the time to put that survey together. In the short time it's been out since e-notes, we already have 20 plus responses.
Damn, love it.
hopefully you weren't doing it while you were watching Town Hall, or maybe hopefully you were. I'm not sure which is better, but please do go in and do your parent survey. We need a strong turnout from that to make sure that we're getting a robust data set to help us understand our plans for the future and get your input. And this is our annual process, so we really hope for your engagement and involvement. Whether you're staying or going, there's a question on there about whether you're leaving, so that we can look at some of our departing families as an exit survey, and look at that in context, as well as those who've been here for differing periods of time over ASW history. That's the other thing at graduation, by the way. It's the one I always throw up there, is how many kids we have at graduation every year that have been here 13, 14, and 15.
So, I love it.
Their entire education since 3 years of age. Always a brilliant part.
Love it.
Well,
Love
with that message, Kay, final thoughts? Otherwise, I think we're good.
Phil, your survey, Relay for Life, did it last year. It was a phenomenal, one of my first real introductions to in-person things in the school. Phenomenal opportunity. We have our board retreats, a little bit of a conflict this year, but just Hannah and Caitlin will do a phenomenal job, I'm sure. And the summer camp, I don't know if that's booked up, but I will say my boys did those 2 weeks last year and had a great time. So not sure if I'm supposed to say anything about that, but a plug if there's any room for sit away for any either of those weeks. And yeah, we're just hope to see many of you at the gala. It's going to be a phenomenal night. And, you know, maybe you can mention John's name, my name, you know, maybe last minute things. You never know what could happen. And I know
there you go.
Donations are still being accepted as well, I believe, John, right? So
absolutely. Donations. And also we have a raffle and an auction out there that's in process. So keep watching eNotes for information on both of those fronts as well, for, you know, some valuable prizes and an opportunity to weigh in on that, as well as a little silent auction that'll be part of our gala that we'll announce the winners of at the end of the gala evening. So excited about that as well. All right. Well, Kate, thank you very much for joining again and for helping me bring closure. My best boys for me as you tuck them in. And we'll look forward to kicking this off together in August when we're back.
Fabulous. Thank you all. Thank you, John. Talk to you soon.
Well, that's it for me tonight, unless there's other questions in the comments. And I always give you another few seconds here to throw anything in that you want to still find out about. But this will be our last town hall for the year. I don't see a need to pull one more off in the final weeks. So I just want to wish everybody well. You know, it's been a wonderful, amazing journey through these town halls where we've grappled with difficult issues together. Certainly the silver lining takeaway from 2 years of doing town halls is that they're here to stay in some fashion. I'll inform you more about the schedule of town halls in the coming year. And we'll shift to community issues that will allow us to continue to have this dialogue, so that you can always be kept up to speed on the detailed questions that you need to ask and hear responses from me, members of my team, members of the student body, members of the parent community. And so really use this final time together as an opportunity to give each other pats on the back for amazing work on so many different fronts throughout the school. Shout out to PTO, also key people in regards to the gala coming up. And all of our activities throughout the year. They have their final general meeting coming up. We encourage everybody to attend and join us. Again, just keep real close track of the things we've scheduled in the final days here, so that we can all spend every possible moment together as we usher out this school year and bring this academic year to a close. I look forward to seeing many or all of you, whether in the parking lot, at the events, or on the last day of school at the assembly. My best wishes to all of you, and may there all be peace in our homes and in our lives, so that we can carry that forward in life and share it with others. That's it from me, Mr. Z, signing out for the 21-22 school year. Have a pleasant evening.